how digitization works, especially with respect to the platforms such as online e-commerce platform, online then banking platform, booking platforms, etc. These are very, very important aspects which enable them to use these skills in learning in IT and go ahead and apply the digitization mechanism and which we learn in the service management of IT can be applied to any industry available across the globe for using most of the areas. So you are moving basically, you are going into taking an ownership of the activities which you are performing. You will be able to do them better. And sometimes also because of you are doing them better and of servicing the customer, engaging with the customer better, your work will be visible to the leadership team. And also during daily execution, you will be turn the daily execution into a career growth path by having enabling the services to digitization, which will enable more user friendliness to the consumer, and you can connect with the consumer better because consumer are the people who are going to utilize the services, and how you connect with the user is very critical aspect which ITIL also talks about in providing value to the consumers in line with their expectation, not only the first time, but every time the consumer connects with the service provider organization. So any industry, wherever you are delivering services, and if it is enabled through digitization, this is the course for which you should actually vouch for and go ahead and take it up further.
That's really helpful, Bipin. What I'm hearing is that ITL is not just about learning a framework, but it's about changing how people think about their work and how that work is also seen. A question that often comes up also, especially for someone early in their careers or feeling stuck, is that they understand the mindset, but how does growth show up over time, and how does it translate into actual career growth? So could you walk us through how ITL could possibly drive career growth in the field of IT for someone in the field and for someone who is absolutely new to this?
Okay. First thing is basically whenever you are learning foundation, you are taught, you would be getting into the first area where you are able to understand what is service management, which is a global vocabulary which will be talked about in IT. So it becomes absolutely clear what is the vocabulary, what is the fundamentals used in the general vocabulary across the globe in service management, that you will be able to learn as a part of foundation clarity as to what are the values, what are the key concepts, what are various resources which are used by this delivery of value system to the consumers, etc. This is very, very critical and important aspect for foundation. It is a first step where it is a minimum step which one needs to have a prerequisite on, and then move on further with dealing with the more controls through governance, etc., which will enable them to be more predictable, more well managed, and deliver services always in line with the expectations of the consumer as a part of operation control, as the service level agreement comes into picture, or the contractual binding comes into picture between service provider, their consumers, service providers, and their partners and suppliers or the associates will all impact. Will come into the picture. It will be giving you the clarity as to how you are going to deliver. It also leads with the strategic influence in the organization at the strategic level, where strategic level is where we define the structure of authority in the organization, where the strategic level discussion can happen, where you will be defining the, let's say, what kind of capabilities the organization should have in order to deliver products and services to the consumer. And then that strategy, how it is put into actuations through execution, through creation of the SOPs, which includes the value streams, the guiding the principles, the policies, guidelines, then workflows, etc., process procedures, etc., which will enable you to deliver the services in line with the expectations of the consumer. And there is a faster growth path available for you in ITIL framework as well. After doing foundation, there are a lot of other courses which you can do. As you grow in the organization, you can also show the growth in the career growth with respect to the certifications with ITIL 4 framework also, which permits you after course, after doing the foundation course, it permits you to do and many other courses which will align in line with the organization growth path, aligned to your certification growth path, and will lead to, when you take a certification here, would lead to additional growth in the organization and help the organization achieve the goals and objective of the organization.
Yeah, thanks for giving us so much clarity on the career growth aspect, Bipin. I think it's especially relevant for people who are joining us today, also because a few of them are transitioning. And one other aspect is that most of us who are aware of IT teams, and we know that they're all working with cloud platforms, DevOps pipelines, and increasing levels of automation also when with AI coming into place. So, from your experience, how should professionals really think about ITIL 4 in a world that's already cloud first and DevOps driven? And how does it actually complement these modern ways of working? And can it enhance it in some way?
So yes, basically when we are talking about basically, ITIL 4 framework aligns with the DevOps and Agile frameworks together in order to ensure the delivery of products and services happen in line with the expectations of the consumer step by step. And it enables the feedback mechanism to come in from consumer side, align the deliveries in line with the expectations of the consumer, not only the first time, but every time the consumer connects with the service provider organization, step by step manner. It enhances it uses the DevOps approach as well as the approach of ITIL 4 frameworks comes together in order to deliver. It also enables continuous delivery, continuous deployment using DevOps framework and ITIL framework together to deliver valuable products and services to consumer in line with their expectation in a incremental and manner, which enables the IT or the service team to or the products team to deliver the products step by step or in smaller chunks in order to ensure the continuous delivery, continuous deployment happens and avail the or understand the value which has been delivered to the consumer in line with their expectation at each point of delivery. And their feedback from the consumer enables the service provider organization to enable uh, basically to align the based on the feedback, the alignment of products and services are in line with the expectations of the consumer every now and then at each point of delivery. So cloud services is one of the mechanisms where it is one of the methodologies which can be used. It can be in terms of cloud solutioning, cloud servicing, application. DevOps is using the application. It can be cloud-based application, client server application, it can be enabled through clouds. So cloud is a mechanism where it is enabling a wider group of consumers to connect at one go, which will enable these delivery of products and services in line with the expectations. Expectations are always part of the service level agreement associated between service provider and the service consumer. It can also be, cloud can be in terms of three types of solutions in clouds are there, which we talk about is you must be aware of, which is public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid clouds. So these are the mechanisms which integrates with the DevOps and ITIL 4 framework in order to deliver the services to the consumer in line with their expectation consistently. Automation. Automation is one of the important aspects of moving further. So automation enables mundane activity to be taken up by the different tools, including AI, wherein people get or the team gets more time in doing strategic work, which enables them to align and have complete alignment with the customer and help deliver customer experience and user experience. So you're using of automation tool and AI. Basically, one more important point is the challenges are there in AI, which can be dealt with by strategizing it properly in terms of emotions, in terms of the emotional aspect of the thinking and feeling aspect of the consumers can be taken up by the service provider team or the help desk team or service desk team or service delivery team can take up and concentrate more on emotional aspect of the consumer, whereas the automated aspects would be taken by AI and the automation tools. There are various automation tools available which helps integrate with the tools like Salesforce automation, helps tools like ChatGPT and all the other available, except various AI tools which are available. And most of the applications today are enabling AI through internal module and through connectivity with other tools and in collaboration with the other tools, AI tools. So that enables end-to-end delivery of products and services, so direct automation. So end to end, it also provides stability because of the why stability, because it has been tested and tried. Automation tools will enable end to end stability, aligns with not only whenever there is again the changes happening in the way the processes are going to perform or the application is going to perform, the change management for managing the changes, enabling the changes, we can also align it with the project management methodologies such as prince 2 foundation, now prince 2 agile and prince 2 normal can be aligned in managing the changes in the business as usual in order to ensure the inevitability of changes which are going to come and address the changes in line with the expectations of the consumers consistently. That's how end-to-end stability of the applications can be bought in as a part of the ITL4 framework, aligned with project management, cloud, DevOps, and all these things can work together to provide stability to the consumer in line with their expectations consistently.
Thank you for providing us with so much clarity on all of these aspects. I'm sure it's clear for people who are even new to this field. Right? And I think this also naturally brings us to a question a lot of people still have in their minds, especially those who have been in IT for a while. Many professionals here have either worked in ITIL version 3, studied it, or earlier in their careers, or at least heard that ITIL used to be very process heavy once. So now we keep hearing that ITIL 4 is very different and much more aligned to how modern IT works. So, Bipin, could you please help us understand the differences between both of these and how one can, look at these if they are planning to write the exam?
Okay, so here actually we are talking about ITIL has actually evolved right from 1980s onward, wherein it started with ITL1, ITL2, and then came the ITL2, then came into the ITL V3 version, wherein it was basically a life cycle based model, which has a life cycle of it was a life cycle of strategy, design, okay, service strategy, service design, service transitioning, service operation, and continual improvement. These are the life cycle based model. Now, this life cycle based model in ITL4 has been replaced by service value system, which enables outcome aligning to the outcome expectation of these stakeholders. It is not only the consumers, but also the other stakeholders which are involved along with the service provider to deliver valuable products and services to themselves as well as to the other consumer and other stakeholders. Oh, that is very important aspect. It is moved away and the focus is more towards delivering value to the consumer in line with their expectations. That was very important. Now, in ITL 3, we had strong focus on the processes and procedures. There were 24 processes. In ITL 4, we have 34 management practices focusing on the outcomes and co-creating value for the consumers. Now, co-creating value does not happen unless and until there is a relationship built between service provider and a service consumer, and which is consistently aligned in line with the expectations of the consumer. Co-creation of a value is related basically, service provider is responsible for providing the services, whereas service consumer is responsible for providing the feedback. Because of feedback mechanism, always in communication there is a two-way communication. That's the first principle of communication which is there, which is very critical and which is applicable in this scenario when we are talking about whenever the service provider, anybody who's providing services are called a service provider, and anybody recipient of the service is called as service consumer. When anybody is delivering the services, it is important for them to understand how they are going, who is their customer, how they are going to deliver the what are their expectations, what are their requirements, what are the outcome expectations, are aligned not only in the first step but every step of delivery. And the co-creation is happening because of the feedback mechanism which has been established so very importantly in this scenario, that it enables consistent mechanism of uh, give and take, which enables the service provider to deliver in line with the expectation based on the feedback. and feedback is critical. Hence, it also enables the products to be or services to be delivered based on the aligning the services in line with the target group of consumers. That's what is also very critical in this scenario which has come up. Then we are talking about IT is positioned mainly as a service provider. Here it is involving the positioning strategically along with business partner. You enter into a business partnership with a service provider, because normally whenever the services are delivered, like SAP is delivered, especially implementation services have been completed, then when it is into an operational maintenance environment, you are a long-term relationship established, because the organization needs support, or the consumer organization needs support throughout the implementation, not only after beyond not with only at the implementation, but beyond the implementation for many years to come together, so that services are required. So that partnership, it is enduring into a partnership and relationship management at the highest level across organization, not only between service provider, service consumers, and service providers, partners, and suppliers. So that's what is very critical and introduced in ITIL 4 version. Heavy emphasis on documentation and approval here was there earlier in 3. Now it is flexible practices instead of the practices based on the scenario. It's always the amalgamation of utilization of components of the service value system are based on the scenario. Scenarios can be with respect to demands or an opportunity. Based on those demands and opportunities, it has become a flexible system which will enable picking up the practices, picking up the processes, picking up the resources from the 4 dimensions of service management, and enabling the delivery of products and services in shortest possible time in order to deliver valuable products and services, aligning to the expectations of the consumer every time. That's the flexibility is being provided to mix and match processes and the practices together, which will enable delivery of products and services faster. So we call it as a value stream. Value stream is a combination of service value chain activities and the practices together in order to transform input into an output, which ultimately deliver value to the consumers and the stakeholders. How the value comes back to the service provider is whenever they are delivering in line with the expectations of the consumer will become actually very happy, and brand and experience would be good, lead to customer experience and user experience. Moment the user experience and customer experience is great, in that scenario, the service not only satisfaction level is good, but also the consumer becomes a brand advocate of the service provider organization, which leads to not only the consumer buying more, but they are referencing their products and services to the families and friends, which leads to more business to the service provider organization also, and hence value is also created because of that reason. Then it is moving into collaboration, because the principles are allowing the movement into collaborative way of working. When we talk about collaboration, collaboration is not only within the service provider organization, but it's collaboration across and beyond the service provider organization, will lead to understanding the objectives and enduring a long-term relationship between the service provider, service consumer, and service providers, partners, and suppliers. That's what is collaborative way of working is enhanced through ITIL. So we have already seen that design, this framework is aligned with the DevOps project management, and also enables cloud. So also enables automation through AI. So all that has been put into picture over here. So that's how it has been enhancement done, or whatever was there in ITIL 3 earlier is also there, but it is enhanced to provide value at each point of delivery to the consumers. That's what is critical over here.
Thanks for breaking that down in depth, Bipin. That comparison really helps clear up a lot of confusion around how ITIL has evolved over time. And one question I see come up again and again, especially from people in IT operations or service roles, is basically if they invest time in ITIL 4, what actually changes for them career wise? Most professionals aren't just looking for to learn a framework. They just want to understand how it opens up new roles, broader responsibility, and long term growth in organizations. So, could you walk us through how careers typically evolve with ITIL 4 and how it helps professionals expand their roles over time, and probably some tips for professionals who are new to this field as well?
All right. So here we go. See, basically, whenever people talk about service, because this is when a service management means it's a operational and maintenance environment. Operational and maintenance environment, first thing starts is normally you become a part of you become an agent or a service desk agent where you are providing L1 support is the first level of support which is given by the agents themselves. And sometimes when you become providing agent is a frontliner of people who are attending the calls, frontline or front ending at the service desk. Once they are also acting as a coordinator. If you one important thing is aspect is required here is basically you need to be having a knowledge about the products and services which are supporting to the consumers. That you have business knowledge about the products and services which are there. For example, if you are part of the SAP, then SAP kind of a knowledge related to functionality, also to the technicality requirement. Or if you are a part of, let's say, telephony internet service provider, then in internet, so you should be aware of the knowledge of internet and telecom service provider. So you should have that knowledge associated with it. So you become a part of a little bit of knowledge on subject matter. It will enable you to play a role of L1. If you are part of little bit higher, then possibly you can play a role of L2, which is second level of service escalation. You can become an L2. So the next part which we are talking about is a service desk lead, which is basically taking care of the lead. Can be, suppose if it's FICO, again I'm going back to that module of SAP FICO, that is a financial module. Here you can become a service desk lead for providing uh, the service desk related to FICO module, where you are taking care of the agents related to account receivable, account payable, costing, general ledger, and so on and so forth. So you become a lead of the people who are taking those at L1, who are taking those, so delivering those incidences or basically the functionality domain areas for the people in those FICO module. Then you are going to be going into this is these kinds of related to role change, L1, L2, and all this can be role change, functionality related issues if you're facing. Then possibly the next step is to handle the incidences and also going into finding out which incidents leads to problems so that you can proactively ensure that the incidents problems are there which can be sorted out and clarified. As an incident manager or a problem manager, you can take it up. You can also become a change manager. Changes which are going to be dealt into the software based on the dynamism of the marketplace, so that can be handled by the change manager in the business as usual. So they're enabled by change enablers, or we call it as change enablement as a practice. But people who are managing the changes in the organization as from business as usual may become a change manager, which they may have to coordinate, they may have to have a requirement of the skills related to project management, because changes from business as usual as a part of change management, change enablement, we might require the project management to be introduced in order to ensure the changes are first incorporated in a different environment, and once tested and validated, it comes back into the operational and maintenance environment. That becomes a part of the change manager. Also, in that level, you can become a release manager or a deployment manager, and that level kind of a thing. And the highest designation one can go ahead is a service delivery manager, which is taking care of not only incident management, service request management, problem management, or process owners, and they will go to the higher level of service delivery managers, where they're handling the entire set of services delivered by an organization to their consumers. Because their service managers could be different for different types of business verticals. If we are providing services, for example, in SAP is applicable kind of an environment where it is applicable not only to pharmaceutical industries, but to manufacturing industries, to retail industries, to the public sector domain industries like electricity, discoms like distribution, electric distribution companies, gas distribution companies. So these are business verticals within the area. So you can have a service delivery manager for each of these different areas of the business vertical, which are supported by various production services. That also is possible. That's how it will help you to grow in the organization. As you grow, the growth path is also given by ITIL for certifications, which enable you to align with these levels. So there are, for example, in your after foundation you do after your foundation you can do the one which we call it as management professional create deliver and support, right? Which is related to basically create, deliver, and support is related to all the changes, etc., and how you are implementing the things. That's there. Then drive stakeholders value is there, which is providing better customer experiences. Then we also have something which ITL4 has is drives high velocity IT. That means in a dynamically changing world, how AI is used, how dynamically you are able to align to those services. So those are going to be part. And then you also have practice management courses there in ITL4, which is related to various 15 practices, set of five practices called as MSP, PIC, and CIA. These five practices, if you become there, can become practice managers. You can also become, there is one or more courses which is drive, plan, and improve, where for sorry, DPI, that is drive, improve, plan and improve, which is ITL strategist, and then generally ITL strategic leader is there, and then you can become ITL master. That's a growth path where you are aligning it to various services, and even CIO or CTO level core. If you gain ITL, digital ITL strategy or ITL master, you can also be looking towards the role of your CIO or the CTO. So that aligns the growth path in the organization with growth path in the certifications. That's how it works out.
Thank you for clarifying that, because I did see a lot of questions related to how ITIL could possibly help them advance their careers in the chat. So I think we provided good clarity on that. And so I would like to move on to another aspect, which is also very crucial for ITIL, and that is service delivery. So Bipin, could you help us understand how better service delivery shows up in someone's career trajectory, and how ITIL 4 enables that shift in a very real and practical way for someone in this field?
Okay. So, see, initially, how the ITL4 is improving service deliveries. So, whenever you're improving it, nothing is static. You are saying that we are always keeping on raising the bar. So, that concept is coming up over here. So when we are talking about initially, the problems are there. It is repeated incidences. We rushing to changes, and end-to-end ownership is been established in cases of problem. Then ITL enables this through root cause analysis, connect with the incident, problem and change, and build help. Continually improvement is always important aspect. Now, for example, you are delivering consistently a high business impact ticket for your consumers. Let's say in 2 hours, high business impact ticket is there. Now your consumer says, okay, initially, okay, 2 hours was good enough. Now, because of the dynamic changes in the marketplace, 2 hours is how high downtime for us. Can you reduce the cycle time from 2 hours to half an hour? So that is improvement. Once you say half an hour, you can further reduce it to 15 minutes, further reduces to 20. So there is always a raising a bar concept is there, and automation and digitization and IAI is helping us to do that to a better the things as we go ahead. And moment the organization feel that yes, they have reached the pinnacle, that's a wrong thing. There is always a scope of improvement is a concept which has been brought, and that is continual improvement enables us to take to a next level or our products and service delivery to the next level. So that's what is being. So always assurances it is giving you, it is not a outcome based model anymore. It is an outcome based model. Outcome is nothing but the value to the consumers. So whatever the expectations of the consumers and the stakeholders are there, the service provider organization consistently has to align with them. So we ensure that there are zero disruption. We are going to a level of zero disruptions in some scenarios. Predictability, performances, focus on improvement and not the emergencies. It's always what best I can deliver to my consumer is what we are looking at every point on time. That's why we are raising the bar to deliver the products and services to the consumers through various mechanisms of automation. And one important thing is you cannot, one cannot deliver products and services without the involvement of the consumer. Here, consumer is always involved and providing their feedback, which will enable to consistently improve the products and services, align the products and services, and improve the products and services in line with their expectations. That's how it's very critical and important.
Yes, thank you for clarifying that as well, because we had questions around this also. And before we move into understanding ITIL 4 Foundation exam, I found a question in the chat which I thought I would pass on to you. So there's a question about how ITSM is different from ITIL, and is ITSM an entry level course into IT?
Okay, if not, as competitor network plus
Oh,
A
yeah.
and plus, yeah, all that. Okay, fine. That's a good question. See, basically, this is understanding ITSM, ITIL is a framework which enables IT or enables service management. And if the service management is related to digitization, which has been used for delivering products and services, then it is leading to the IT service management. ITL 4 is a framework for delivering IT service management. That's a very fundamental thing which is covered. People come into a wrong mistake. ITIL is infrastructure library only. No, it is a framework for IT service management, enabling the services related to digitization for business growth and through digitization. That's very critical aspect. So ITSM is basically a service management, and ITIL is a framework for delivering IT service management and enabled through digitization. That's what is critical thing which we need to understand. I hope that clarifies the question.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that response with us. And now that we have already covered all the key aspects, most of the aspects of how one can advance their careers in ITIL, I am pretty sure that a few of our participants are also planning to give this exam or prepare for ITIL 4 Foundation exam. So before that, could you talk to us or give us an idea about the exam structure and and what the core topics actually look like from an exam point of view?
Okay. So here basically what we are talking about ITL 4 exam is around 1 hour closed book exam. That means you are not allowed to refer to anything. So the exams, if you take, there are also exams available in other foreign languages. Native language for everybody is English. Suppose they want to take an exam, if in Europe, they can take an exam in French, German, Scottish, Spanish, etc. That's available. Then in Japan and China, it is available in Japanese and Chinese also. But there are no other Indian languages. Those who are taking it English, they get 60 minutes, and those who are taking it any other than English, which is called as non-native language, in that scenario, they get 25% extra time for doing it just for translation purposes and readability purposes. So you have around 75 minutes given for the people who are not taking exam in English. That's first thing which I wanted to clarify. Then understand that there are 60 minutes, you have around 40 questions to be answered. When you answer 40 questions, they are all called as OTQ, that is objective type question. Each question is having 4 options, no more, no less. Okay. So each questions carry 1 mark, no less, no more. So there is no negative marking. So you should attempt all the questions. Now these questions are basically uh, 40 questions are further bifurcated into the various topics of IT service management as per ITIL 4. The key concepts carries 5 questions. That is basically there are around 15, around 20-25 concepts which we'll be learning, where you will get 5 questions on. Then there is a 4 dimensions of service management, which is a second chapter where you, a third chapter where you get 2 questions. First chapter is the introduction, hence it is not put in here. The where you get 2 questions. Then we have service value chain, service value system, and service value chain activities. Service value system gets 1 mark, and service value chain activities gets 2 mark question. Then we have guiding principles, where it takes 7 guiding principles are there, where you get 6 questions on them. And then there are practices, ITL practices, which are 20, there are 34 practices, out of which in foundation, during ITL 4, we cover 15 practices as for the syllabus laid down by People Cert. Okay. Now
Right.
that makes it 24 question. Now the question generally people ask is, why not directly deal with the practices? So it's all about progressive learning. Unless we understand the concepts, like example of a stakeholder is there. Now when we talk about stakeholders, stakeholder is applicable in all the 4 dimensions of service management, service value system, guiding principle, and practices. So we need to understand. So it's a progressive learning. Hence, we need to go in the order in which it has been said, that first concepts, 4 dimensions of service management, service value system, the guiding principles, the value system, the service value chain activities, and then finally the practices. That's how it's a progressive learning about. Yeah.
Right. Thank you for clarifying the exam structure. I'm sure everyone has a few questions about the question types and patterns that they can expect if they're planning to give the exam. So could you give some tips on that, and also give some tips on the strategy that they can use while appearing for the exam?
Okay. So first thing is, what we do is, there are 4 types of questions you get. First type of question, we call it as standard OTQ. Okay. Then the second type of question is called as non-standard OTQ. The third type of question is called as missing word question. And the fourth type of question is called as the list question. In the last part of list question is only no more than 1 question is asked during the exam time. Rest of the areas, it is equally bifurcated. So every question has one answer only. There are not multiple answers to be given in each of the question, except for the last type of question, list question, where in the context of the question, you will be given 4 statements. Out of those 4 statements, 2 statements will be right. As we see, as we go, we'll see that. So these are related to primary questions. Question using not, that is the exception. That's what we have covered. Identify the most ITL aligned statements. All these candidates for fill in the blanks are terminologies, and the definitions which we'll be learning as a part of key concepts and other areas, right? That is what it covers. So the method of handling these questions is basically using the elimination method. One need to underline the keyword in the question. Now, when we underline the keyword in the question, we can understand the area of syllabus from which the question has been asked. So that becomes easy for us to read through it. And once we understand that, when we read the option also, we will underline the keyword in these statements, each of the statement, and map that keyword to the keyword in the question, which enables us to find out exactly how it is going to align. So that will lead to a very good way of eliminating it also. Right.
Right. Yeah. So, could you also walk us through some of the sample questions for our audience who are completely new to ITIL? Could you just brief us about how questions could look like and how they
Yeah.
can attempt those?
Okay. This is the first thing which I said, purpose-based questions. So this is called a standard OTQ question, which is the preliminary purpose of incident management. Now one has to find out, it's very simple. Incident is basically referred to as restoring, no, purpose of incident management practice is to restore minimize the negative impact of incident by restoring normal services as quickly as possible. So That's the C becomes the answer in this scenario. This is the first kind of a question, which is standard OTQ based on the purposes of each of the 15 practices which we ought to cover as a part of ITIL for foundation examination or the syllabus. Now, relationship based question, how does the service value chain relate to service value system? So basically, service value chain is a subset of service value system, which is a core part of the service value chain is a core part of the service value system, which enable transformation of input into an output. So the answer is core component of the service value system. We call it as a heart or a brain or a spinal cord of the service value system is service value chain activities, which are a set of activities which enable transformation of input into an output, which ultimately provides value to the consumers. That's what is covered in this scenario. The next part we have the negative not or except is kind of a negative standard OTQ, which is not a component of the service value system. Here, service value system actually has 5 components, out of which 3 components would are listed here, and one we need to find out if the other one is there. So component includes the guiding principles, governance, includes the service value chain activities, the practices, and the continual improvement. So what is not there is a service catalog, which is the practice itself. So that's how we need to answer them as we see. Best fit and most appropriate, which this is also part of the standard OTQ, which what should be done for before automating any activity. So when we automate it, before you automate, it is always important to keep the things simple and optimize them before you automate. So that's what is coming. This is coming from actually the purpose of the principles. And then guiding principles, which principles supports eliminating unnecessary step? Unnecessary steps are eliminated by ensuring that the things are simple and practical. That's how it works out.
Thank you for explaining all of it and also for sharing the answers with the audience as well. I'm sure everyone has a good understanding of what they can expect from the exam now. So before we move on to the ITIL 4 Foundation Certification Training, I have a quick poll for all of you here because we conduct webinars on a timely basis and we really love to hear your thoughts on our webinars. So I'm quickly launching a poll on some of the webinar topics that we are planning to conduct in the coming months. Please let us know your thoughts on this. What kind of webinars do you prefer? Because hearing from you is of utmost importance to us in the team. So I hope this is visible to all of you. So as per your preference, if you are in the field of IT or if you're completely new, that's absolutely fine. Please go ahead and give us your responses. Okay, so I see that AI in ITSM and ITL 4 Foundation exam Q&A has a lot of responses. Most people want us to conduct webinars around these. So that's great to know, everyone. Thank you all for sharing. I can keep this poll live for another 10 seconds and then we will continue with the webinar. All right. Mixed responses. I think for all the topics, there are people who want us to conduct it. It's wonderful to see all of you give us your responses. So, okay, all right. So I'm gonna end the poll right now. Thank you for sharing your responses, everyone. And I can also see a few questions in the Q&A box and in the chat. I just wanna quickly acknowledge the fact that we see these questions and we will cover them in the Q&A section. We just wanna quickly tell you all about the ITIL 4 Foundation training, and we'll surely take up your questions in the Q&A section. So please bear with us till then. Right. So now on the screen, before we wrap up, I want to just quickly walk you through why this program exists and what it's actually designed to do for all of you. A lot of people don't struggle with learning the concepts, but they struggle with finishing and clearing the exam. And we are here with this course to remove that kind of uncertainty and to help you clear the exam. So first, you will see on the screen that the first attempt exam pass guarantee that we provide. So this is not just like a marketing line or anything. It reflects how the structured the learning path is and how closely it follows people's expectations. So you're not guessing what matters. You're actually preparing for what's being tested, and we're really confident about that aspect. Second, the 22 PDUs with training. So for many of you, this is not just about the certification. So if it's about staying relevant, maintaining your professional standing, or even appearing for other exams which require PDUs, this course can help you with that. Third, everything here is all inclusive. So the exam voucher, official people cert material, ebook, cheat sheets, and a clear study plan is also provided as a part of this certification training. So there are no hidden steps. So you will be completely prepared, and all of this will be available to you in one specific package. And finally, the 100 plus premium questions and simulations. So we want to build confidence for all of you. So by the time you appear for the exam, you know exactly what to expect, and you will not face any difficulties while you give the exam. So this is what we are planning to cover as a part of the certification training. And what you will learn as a part of this course, I'm just going to read out whatever is there. These are some of the key concepts that are going to be covered as a part of the program, and I'm sure Bipin has already explained how important these are in your ITIL foundation training. So we will be covering ITIL key concepts. We will cover aspects on customer experience improvements. We will have modules on ITIL central principles, ITSM efficiency, and then we will also go on to discuss in detail about ITIL process models, 15 ITIL best practices, which is also a very important component of the exam, like he explained on the previous slide. We will be covering service level management and also AI applications in ITIL 4. So these are some of the crucial modules that we will be covering as a part of the program. And we also wanted to give you all an overview of what we can expect. So we have a slide on the course curriculum or the learning journey that one can expect as a part of this program. And like I mentioned before, Bipin is also a mentor with us. So I think it would be great if he explains his side. So Bipin, over to you. Please share your insights on this.
Yes. Okay. Thanks, Shweta. This is basically related to the courseware based on released by PeopleCert for foundation. So it has actually 6 chapters, which are 5 chapters. First is the introduction to foundation. Right. The second one is a key concept where we discussed about how many questions you will get is around 5. But then this includes a lot of things, fundamentals like what is service value, what is product, what is the definition of service, what is the definition of service management, what is the definition of service offering, what is the definition of service relationship, product, definition of a stakeholder. Then you have a definition of output, outcome, cost, risks, utility, warranty, sustainability, and experience. All these are part of your key concepts, which will be covered with examples, of course, yes. And then with the 4 dimensions of service management are there, which are related to the, if anybody has working in manufacturing, they are directly related to manpower, machinery, then your third M stands for material and the fourth M stands for process methods. Here, it is aligned. Manpower is related to organization and people dimension. Material is related, machines is related to information and technology dimension. Material is related to partners and suppliers dimension. And finally, methodology is related to the service value streams and processes. So that's how the relationship is established. That is a chapter where we cover in detail. And then we go ahead and have a service value system wherein we understand the components of the service value system in terms of guiding principle, service value chain, guiding principles, then governance, then practices, and finally the continual improvement. These are the areas which we are covering there. Service value chain activities, we cover the activities related to service value chain, which helps transform input into an output. There are 6 activities which we cover. As of now, the covering is related to plan, improve, engage, design, transition, obtain, and build, and deliver, and support. The 6 activities which we cover here. And then ITL management practices, 15 practices are there, which are further classified. 34 practices are there in all, which are classified into general service management, general management practices, service management practices, and technical management practices, out of which we cover 15 based on the syllabus laid down by PeopleCert, wherein the general management practice out of 14, we cover 4 as a part of foundation. and in service management, we cover 10 out of 17 practices, and technical management practice, we cover 1 out of 3 practice. So that makes it 4 plus 10, 14 plus 1, 15 practices as per foundation syllabus for for ITIL 4. And then this is the other area where in LMS you will find a number of set of question sets which are available for you for practice purpose to make you comfortable and gain more practice. There are sample question dumps are also there, mock tests are there, and simulation tests are there, which are covered, which are 10 plus simulation tests plus mock tests are available for you for more practice. As you gain more practice, it is important, becomes easier for you to take an exam and be comfortable by taking an exam. So it also practice will make the person perfect and also remove the kind of a fear that, okay, how can I take an exam? I am 20, 15 years back, I did my college and now I'm taking an exam. That kind of a ferocity is removed while you take these many areas or questions or samples. So practice makes you good enough to take the exam and possibly clear in the first attempt. Increases chances of clearing in the first attempt.
Yes, thank you so much for explaining the curriculum and the journey and what they can expect by the end of the course as well. So now I have on screen some of our learner success stories. So hearing from us is one thing, but hearing directly from our alumni or people who have completed the course is another thing altogether. So here are some testimonials from our learners. So Amar completed this course and secured a new job with a 35% salary hike. He is currently working as a senior technology analyst. And then we have another testimonial from Jose Ruben Gomez, and he also transitioned from business development to IT services and secured a 31% salary hike as well. He is currently working as a process excellence leader at US Bank in United States. So this is what the course can do for you as well. So if you're considering upskilling yourself, this course probably would be meant for all of you as well. And I can see a few questions about the fee and financing options. So for Indian learners, the course fee is 32,813 rupees, and you will have EMI options, I believe. And the batch is starting on 31st of Jan. So you also have, if you are not able to join the upcoming batch, there are multiple batches starting. So you can check our schedule from our course page and you will get complete clarity on that. For US learners, the course fee is $799 and the batch is again starting from 31st of January. If you want a later date, you can definitely go check our website course page and you will get more details on that. So if you are all interested, if anyone is interested to take up this course, I'll quickly launch a poll for all of you. So if you respond to this poll, our team will reach out to you tomorrow or at the earliest and get all of your questions answered. So please go ahead and share your responses with us. Meanwhile, as you are responding to the poll, I will also share a few questions that we have with Bipin so we can provide clarity on that. So Bipin, one of the very initial questions that we received during this webinar is from Mohammed Javeer, and he's asked, can you share practical real life examples of public, private, and hybrid cloud models and how organizations typically decide which one to use?
Okay. Okay, I'll take the second part of the answer for a question first. How did the organization decide which one to use is based on the regulations which the service provider organization needs to follow. For example, the banking industry is there. They cannot use public open source or a public cloud. They have to use a private cloud or a closed source. So that is based on the regulations. That's one important thing. And the second part, the first part of the question, can you share a real life example of public, private, and hybrid cloud? Now, when you look at the all these online e-commerce platform, they are hosted on a public cloud, right? Depending upon the security needs and the security regulations, the definition or the selection can change from organization to organization based on the regulation areas which they need to follow. for their line of business. Line of business plus regulations enable decision being made based on which kind of a cloud you need to go with. Am I communicating to you, Mohammed, as you wanted it? Does it take care of your question, or you want something extra to be asked? Please feel free.
Yes, I hope that provided clarity. You can let us know in the chat.
Yeah.
Yes, so you've responded yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So you are talking about hybrid. Yes, hybrid scenario uh, depends upon, once again, the services which they are offering. Okay, let's say the data center service provider can enable both the kinds of clouds, or cloud service provider can provide both the options if the organization requires that way. For some kind of a customers, it could be public cloud, and some kinds of customer, it could be private cloud, based on their needs of the organization and how they are going to deliver it to their consumers. That's also a data service provider can decide, and along with their customers, which kind of a module of cloud they need to implement. Generally, hybrid cloud is the one which I have seen where you have a collaboration happening between various organizations for delivering services. In that scenario, there is a possibility of hybrid cloud, right?
Yeah. Uh, Yes, I hope. Okay, so he has responded. Thanks for the answer. And I believe that gave you clarity on that as well. So I'm going to quickly end the poll for everyone here. If you are still interested in the course, you can go back to our course page and check all the details over there. And this also brings me to the certificate of participation, also something a lot of people have been waiting for. So I am going to launch the poll now. All you have to do is fill up your full name and you will be receiving the recording, the slide deck, in your email ID within 48 working hours. And for anyone for whom this is not visible, this poll is not visible, or if you're joining us from YouTube or from LinkedIn and you want the certificate of participation, you can always write to us at webinars@simplilearn.net and we will share the certificates with all of you. And I think as they are answering this question, I will try to share one or two more, pass on one or two more questions to you from our audience. So I think the question this person is trying to ask is if he or she finishes this ITIL foundation exam, will they be selected for an IT job? I believe this is a fresher who's asked this question.
Okay. Okay, this is an okay. I'm now going to attendee. Okay, I wish to finish ITL foundation exam if I have selected for IT job. So see, don't worry about what I will say is ITIL is not necessary for only IT related jobs. ITIL will help you in seeking a job in an organization where they are providing services to their consumer through digital mechanisms. So you need not worry about IT, but equally there are organization. Yes, you can get come into an IT because saying that, okay, you are showcasing by doing ITIL foundation, you are showcasing your relative knowledge and competency about the service management, which is based on ITIL. So you can get a job there as well in IT and non-IT areas where the digitization is happening. Those also can offer you a job related after knowing that you are aware of the service management framework. There also it will be useful. That can happen.
That I can see a few messages in the chat saying that you're not able to see the poll. If you're not able to see the poll, please share your name with us at webinars@simplilearn.net. Yes, and the recorded session, recording will also be shared with all of you, so you don't have to worry. I think I'll take one more question. This was repeated again. So it's from Alia Khan, and she says, I'm planning to switch as PMO. Will the certification be helpful?
Okay. So I am planning to planning for switch as PMO.
Yeah.
PMO, yes, PMO. See, there are a lot of implementations of PMO. Now, PMO, I don't know what you are talking about is whether it relates to project management office, whether it relates to program management office. what it relates to. If you can talk about it, then I will be able to help you out. Yeah. It's a project management office. You are moving into project management office for the purpose of managing and enabling the as a part of the project team or as a part of assurance team. There are two areas in PMO where we basically talk about project assurance and project support. Now, if you are part of a project support team, then this will help you in a way. If you have a project, if you have a knowledge of software development, then it will help. But if you are not having a knowledge on the software life cycle and you intend to do this course and you'll be part of the quality assurance team, then even if you have a business knowledge, and this knowledge will enable you to deliver as a project assurance team member. It's fair. Both the implementation I have seen in PMO scenario, part of project assurance or a quality assurance team or a project assurance team, and also as a day-to-day activities on the project. Yeah.
Yes, I think we have answered a lot of questions in this webinar. If you have any more questions, unfortunately, we won't be able to take it in the interest of time. So we will try to cover that in the upcoming webinars as well. And for anyone who has not been able to fill up the poll, like I mentioned again, please mail us at webinars at simplylearn.net. So I'm going to end the poll right now for all of you. And with that, I would like to thank everyone and especially Bipin for being a part of this webinar and for being a wonderful speaker. I am sure everyone got great insights and clarity on how this exam can help them. So before we wrap up, I would like to ask you what's one piece of advice that you would like to leave with our audience who have actually stayed back with us till the end of this webinar.
Okay. It was great actually to address all of you, and it is important thing which you need to take it forward from this is focus on what your career path is, focus on how certification can enable you achieve your goals and dreams, and in whatever you do, you need to enjoy first. If you are happy and enjoying it, then only the success will be coming to you very easily. Hard work is always very critical and important, but enjoy doing hard work. It is going to lead to a long-term success for you all. With that said, enjoy in whatever you do. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that wonderful advice. And I hope all of you enjoy what you do as well going forward in life. So, with that, thank you all for staying back with us. Thank you for your responses and being such a wonderful audience. I really loved hosting all of you, and I look forward to having you all in the upcoming webinars as well. Like I mentioned earlier, if you have any suggestions for webinars, if you want us to cover specific topics, you can again write to us at webinars@simplylearn.net, and we would really love hearing from all of you. So thank you all once again and see you all in the upcoming webinar. So I'm going to quickly end this session and I'll see you all soon. Thank you, everyone. Good
Bye-bye.
night
Good
to
night.
all.
Enjoy, everybody. See you.